The unseen engine. Look around you. At the borders on a map, the value of the money in your wallet, the abstract idea of a corporation or human rights, these things govern every aspect of your life. They dictate where you can travel, what you can buy, who you can be. They are the most powerful forces on the planet, and yet they do not physically exist. You cannot dig up a border with a shovel. You cannot find a human right under a microscope. They are not real, not in the way a tree is real or a stone is real. They are stories. An invisible architecture of shared belief, a collective dream we all agree to inhabit. For most of human history, this power did not exist. For hundreds of thousands of years, we were just another clever ape, bound by the rigid laws of physical reality. Then, somewhere in the deep past, something happened. A change not in our muscles or our bones, but in the wiring of our minds. A secret was unlocked. A new dimension of reality was opened. And from that single spark, everything we call culture, society, and civilization was born. This is the story of that moment. The theory of the one cognitive trick that made us human. A gradual dawn. For a long time, the story we told ourselves about our own rise was a simple one. It was comforting. It was linear. A story of a slow, steady, inevitable climb to the top. First, our distant ancestors stood up on 2 feet, freeing their hands to explore the world. For 1,000,000 years, those hands learned to shape stone, crafting the same simple Acheulean hand axe over and over. A testament to patience, but not to innovation. Then they tamed fire. A profound step. The fire became the center of their world, a place for warmth, for safety, for sharing food. A small circle of light against an endless darkness. Step by step, generation by generation, culture was meant to have accumulated, like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering more complexity, more knowledge, more sophistication. From the first tool to the first village to the first city. It makes sense, it feels logical. But there is a problem with this tidy story. A massive, glaring anomaly in the timeline that science couldn't explain for decades. The sudden leap. Spore species, Homo sapiens, evolved in Africa around 300,000 years ago. Our bodies were modern. Our brains were large. The hardware was in place. But for the next 200,000 years, a span of time almost impossible for us to comprehend, we were creatively stagnant. We were unremarkable. Our tools were simple and changed very little over vast stretches of time. We lived in small, scattered bands, likely no more than a few dozen individuals. We were not masters of the planet. We were just another medium-sized mammal trying not to get eaten. Then, around 70,000 years ago, after a long, quiet afternoon of prehistory, something explosive happens. The archaeological record ignites. From this point forward, we see the first unambiguous art, cave paintings that still haunt us today. We find the first complex jewelry, beads made from shells and teeth, showing a new concern for personal identity and beauty. We find the first elaborate burials, bodies dusted with red ochre and laid to rest with grave goods, hinting at a profound new belief in an afterlife. We invent new, sophisticated tools, needles for sewing clothes, spear throwers for hunting from a safe distance, oil lamps to light the deep dark of caves. And most critically, we begin to move. We build the first boats and cross open oceans to populate Australia. We begin our relentless expansion out of Africa, and for the first time, we begin to displace and outcompete every other human species on the planet. What happened? It wasn't a physical evolution. Our bodies and brains were the same. It was a revolution of the mind. A software update for the human consciousness. The theory, the power of fiction. The cognitive revolution theory proposes that a chance genetic mutation, or a series of mutations, rewired the language centers of the Homo sapiens brain. This wasn't just about making new sounds. It fundamentally changed what our language could be used for. Before this, language was for describing reality. A vervet monkey can cry, "Warning eagle," or "Warning snake." An early human could likely say, "The herd of bison is moving towards the valley. This is immensely useful." But it is tethered to the here and now. It is about what is real. Our new language broke that tether. It acquired 2 new revolutionary powers. First, the power of gossip. The gossip engine. Gossip sounds trivial, even petty. In reality, it is a world-building technology. By sharing complex information about the relationships and intentions of other people, we could create intricate social maps. You no longer had to see everything for yourself. You could be told, "Trust him. He always shares his food. Be wary of her. She never repays her debts." This allowed us to maintain stable, trusting relationships in much larger groups. Primate groups are held together by constant physical grooming and displays of power. It's time-consuming. Our groups were held together by words. This allowed us to break past the typical primate group size and form cohesive bands of up to 150 individuals. This was a significant advantage in a world of scarce resources. But it was not our ultimate weapon. The second and far more radical power of our new language was this: the ability to speak about things that do not exist at all. The birth of myth. This is the core of the revolution, the pivot upon which history turns. The power to create and believe in imagined realities or shared fictions. Think about it. No other animal can do this. A chimpanzee cannot tell another chimpanzee a story about a great banana spirit in the sky who will reward good chimps with an eternity of bananas. A bee cannot communicate the idea of a workers' revolution to overthrow the queen. Only Homo sapiens gained the bizarre ability to talk about gods, spirits of the ancestors, tribal totems, and legends. These things have no physical reality. You cannot see, touch, or smell a tribal spirit. It exists only as a concept, a story. But, and this is the crucial part, if you can get 1,000 strangers to believe in the same story about that spirit, you can get 1,000 strangers to cooperate. You have unlocked the secret to large-scale, flexible cooperation. Imagined reality. This was the power that allowed us to leave every other species, including every other human species, in the dust. Neanderthals were strong and smart. They could cooperate beautifully in small bands, based on intimate personal knowledge of each other. But they likely could not unite 500 individuals from different valleys to fight a common enemy or execute a complex plan. Homo sapiens could. We could build pyramids for a pharaoh we had never met because we all believed in the shared story of his divinity. We could fight and die in Roman legions alongside men from distant lands because we all believed in the shared story of the Republic. This is the secret glue of civilization. Laws, money, corporations, nations, human rights. None of these are objective realities. They are stories. A dollar bill is a piece of colored paper. It has no intrinsic value. It only has value because 100 million strangers believe in the story told by the Federal Reserve. A corporation is a legal fiction. A story that allows thousands of people to pool their resources and act as a single entity. We had become wizards capable of speaking new realities into existence with nothing but words. Echoes of the awakening. The archaeological record after 70,000 years ago is the fossilized evidence of this new mind. Consider the Lion Man figurine found in a German cave and dated to 40,000 years ago. It has the body of a man and the head of a lion. The artist who carved this did not see it in the world. It was born in the world behind their eyes. It is the physical proof of a mind that can hold two separate concepts, human and lion, and merge them into a third, entirely new concept that does not exist in reality. It is a fossil of a myth. Look at the great cave paintings of Lascaux and Chauvet. They are not just beautiful depictions of animals. They are teeming with abstract symbols, strange half-human figures, and scenes that suggest narrative and ritual. They are the cathedrals of our deep past where the first great stories were likely told. Think of the simple seashell beads, found hundreds of miles from the nearest coast. They were not for survival. They were for identity, for status, for beauty. Their value was not practical, but symbolic. They are proof of vast trade networks, held together not by force, but by a shared story of what was desirable. Our world was no longer just made of rocks, trees, and animals. It was now filled with spirits, dangers, and meanings that we ourselves had invented. A double-edged sword. But this superpower, like all great powers, was a double-edged sword. The same cognitive tool that allows for unprecedented cooperation also allows for unprecedented cruelty. The story that can make 1 million people us, your brothers and sisters in a shared nation, is the same tool that can brand 1 million other people as them. The enemy, the infidel, the barbarian, the subhuman. The imagined reality of a shared God can build magnificent cathedrals and inspire transcendent works of art. It can also be used to justify burning heretics at the stake. The imagined reality of national destiny can motivate a people to achieve incredible feats of engineering and exploration. It can also be used to justify conquering a continent and slaughtering its inhabitants. Our ability to believe in fictions is the source of our deepest compassion and our most monstrous hatreds. The power of the story is neutral. Its content is everything. Living in the fiction today, we are more saturated by imagined realities than any humans in history. You pledge allegiance to a flag, a colored piece of cloth that is a symbol for the imagined reality of a nation. You check your bank account, a series of electrons on a server that represent your participation in the shared fiction of finance. You choose one brand of smartphone over another, not just for its features, but for the story and identity the brand tells. We have built a complex civilization on top of the physical world. A world of ideas, a world of stories. And we have become so powerful, our fictions are now rewriting the planet's physical code. Our shared belief in a story called endless economic growth is actively changing the Earth's climate. The Storytelling Ape. So what, in the end, makes us human? It is not our thumbs. It is not our tools. It is our magnificent, dangerous, and inescapable relationship with fiction. We are the animal that learned to tell stories. And then, in the ultimate plot twist, we climbed inside those stories and began to live there. We are born from myth and we die for ideas. The ultimate question then is not just what stories our ancestors told. It is to look at the stories that govern your own life right now. The stories you believe about your country, your purpose, your own identity. Are those stories serving you? Or are you serving them? And who is the author? Subscribe to Epic Echoes, where the stories that made us are never truly over,